حبط التقلية.
All right, guys, welcome back to Ask Us Anything. Get all your marketing questions answered. This is Imran Nanlawala. I'm joined here by Yusuf Chowdhury. We'll begin in about 20 to 30 seconds after our friend Yusuf shares the live stream on all his channels, which will give him some time to do. Right, Mr. Chowdhury?
Maybe.
Yeah, you gotta share, bro.
My laptop is kind of acting up right now.
I'm gonna wait, brother. We're gonna be patient today. We're gonna wait for you to until I see that it's been shared. We're not gonna start.
Oh my God. How have been, man? How's everything?
Everything's good, brother. I cannot complain. I cannot complain. I cannot complain. Give me 1 second, bro. I gotta make a change to the. Here we go. All right. I think we're rocking and rolling now. Everything's been good, man. Everything's been good. I can't complain, man. No complaints from me, brother. How you been?
Alhamdulillah, man. Like you said, can't complain. Even if I step on a
Amazing.
Lego, I gotta smile, right?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I think this is episode 4. This is now. I was on our YouTube channel earlier just to get some things copy and pasted, and then our last series it still shows up on the homepage for YouTube. I
Really?
had hair, brother. I'm like 20 pounds heavy. This is like time is fine. Time is fine.
That's good. That's good. So we got a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
Hopefully, either people are gonna ask us, or we're gonna just go through some of these questions.
Oh, you still haven't shared it, brother. You still
I
haven't
did,
shared
man.
it.
I sent it to you, man. Look at your chat. What the hell? in the stream, man. In your stream yard.
No. I'm saying we're not gonna start until you start until you share the stream, brother.
Oh, really?
Hey.
Amazing. Amazing. Here we go. I'll put it on my Facebook.
Well, what kind of key? Are you using some type of mechanical keyboard? What's going on over there, man?
I'm telling you, man. Mechanical key.
What's
old
going
school
on?
with the duct tape.
Keys missing.
All right, here we go. I share it. Come on, Facebook. Come on, man.
We did have physical. Give me 1 second. We did have some good questions come in over the last couple of weeks.
Uh-huh.
Our first week was just kind of to kick things off again. We talked about new marketing trends, new things that we were
I can tell you
noticing.
quickly what is going on right now because of the so-called AI. Okay. You have these what do you call it? Scammers or so-called gurus. They became guru like in 1 week of chat GPT. and they're selling that. Let me teach you how to use the chat GPT to increase your bottom line and make 10 G's.
Yeah, but hey, I guess the argument would be if it works, what's the problem?
I know, man. Just like every day a sucker is born in a new so-called opportunities. Like people need to watch out for these sort of shenanigans.
So let's go then. Let's go directly. I know one of the questions is I'm starting to learn about digital marketing, but I do not know how to start practicing. What would you recommend me to do?
Just go outside on the street, grab a sign, and do some breakdance. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I don't know if we answered this question a while back, but that was just a very common question for those that want to get into digital marketing. Is that, I mean, first of all, if you start studying the digital marketing, try to study all of it because that's what I basically did as much as you can. Then make the decision which one do you believe that you're good at it or you're going to be so good at it. Like, I mean, in digital marketing, you have branding, you have graphic design, you have web development, web design, search engine, conversion, email marketing, online ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, and so forth. So try to experiment with all those and see which one do you like most. Of course, from a business point of view, you would think like, why would I go into something that just because I want to like it? But my client might not need that, right? So you have to study the concept of, okay, if I'm going to study digital marketing, why I'm doing this? Is it just to make money, or is it to understand how my target audience, like who are my customers, and how can I help them, improve their business by utilizing the digital marketing, right? So you have to be clear about that. So once you get into it, make a decision if you are going to target a specific customer base, a specific niche. If you are, then after that, get into digital marketing, and there are many resources out there. In fact, if you have LinkedIn, I'm sure most of you do have a LinkedIn. There is an option if you go on the top right. There are like a couple of boxes, and one of them says LinkedIn Learning, which is actually is a lynda.com that LinkedIn purchased it. Excuse me. And you can find some free courses there if you want. So you can check that one out for whatever niche you want to learn in digital marketing. Then you can also check Google certification. Like if you check Google partner programs, you have tons of like training and courses on how to utilize Google Ads, Google Analytics, Search Console, and YouTube ads. Completely free, and you can get certified, which is very, very good. In fact, if you become a partner with Google under the Google Partner Program, what they usually do sometime, they do like a live streaming session where you can invite your, local businesses, maybe through meetup.com. They will come and you have a TV and hook it up with your laptop, and they will stream it live from California to your audience. And after that, you can, for example, make the sale, right? Facebook also has certification if you want to get into that. You can also look at, even though some of my colleagues don't like HubSpot has tons of very basic courses, free courses on digital marketing that you can check it out. But their ultimate gain is to basically hook you up with the product, right? SEMrush also has a couple other free digital marketing classes. And in fact, if you just go to YouTube and type digital marketing 2023 for tutorial, and you'll find tons of them, right? So once you study kind of the basic general, if you go to the library and suck like a donut, okay? If you go to the library and grab any of the books on digital marketing, that should be your first homework. Make the decision, and then after that, focus in the area that you believe and feel like you're going to do very well at it. Okay, so once you do that, now the second step will be through networking. If you go to any kind of local businesses that you like, you can check their site, check their social channels, and offer it either at cost or at no cost because you want to build the brand, right? So you can do that. You can also do networking through Meetup. Either go to meetup.com, look at some of the free workshops that happen locally in your area, join them, attend them, network with them, and see if you can offer service to improve your skill. That's another way. Third way, you can, use social media. You can actually ask your friends and family, hey, I studied this, I finished it, I want to do a couple of tests. Anybody has a business that want to, use it as a test, you can try that. You can actually even find a couple of groups on Facebook and LinkedIn that can help you. Or you can also submit your create a profile on these outsourcing websites like Upwork and freelancers or Fiverr, and see how that works. So it's not very basic, but you gotta get the knowledge and some experience, because the problem that I've noticed in my for the past 20 years, I've seen some people get into the field, they don't have enough experience, but they charge the same amount as if somebody did it for 20 years. So that kind of little bit might be a little bit unethical, because if you did not reach that experience, or if your work is not as good as the professionals, why would you charge that much? For example,
yeah. It's not. I don't think it's unethical. I just don't think it's strategic and wise. Right? There's a good chance they're probably not going to get clients, or they might get lucky enough to get a client, and they won't do a satisfactory enough job to keep them, and then get a referral recommendation. I wouldn't say it's unethical. I just would say it's not wise.
Okay, it's not wise. Yeah. And what you basically saying that it might actually hurt you, because it will hurt your brand, and guess what? It might hurt the the industry because we have a lot of so-called fakers out there that claim something, but the work is so bad. So what happened? The clients go through them when they end up in our table, right? And we see there, I'm like, oh my god, this is actually so horrible. So when we charge an arm and a leg, they get confused. I'm like, yeah, because this is a lot of work in order for us to produce something, good quality. But I see what you're saying, man. I mean, that's why I was said, might not be ethical or not, but like you said, it's more like a not wise strategy, and it can also be bad for the business, right? And this is very common among the so-called what is it? Get rich quick or get easy rich quick, whatever.
Let me show you 5 ways you can make $10,000 a month for.
Or join my the real world and make like 10 G's. That stuff don't work, just like in real life. I mean, I'm sure that you also have a lot of experience, Imran, in many different areas of expertise, and that took a lot of time and efforts for you to be the expert, right? So once you learn, do a couple of tests, get 3-4 clients here and there, and after that you can start, building your own brand, which is your website, your social channels, putting the value out there, doing some content, setting up your own meetup, coaching and training, like, at no cost. That's one way to build a client base. You can also collaborate and network with other agencies. If they hire you as an intern and they see you doing very well, you can also, ask them to help you out. So there are 100 ways of doing that. And I think we kind of touched some of those, how to get clients, I think last week, right? Or last Thursday.
Yeah.
So that's what I would recommend when it comes to, how to start and where to go. Okay.
Yeah, I'll take the question a little bit more literally. It says, so they're learning, but they don't know how to start practicing. So what do they recommend? I think so. What you mentioned in terms of learning and making sure that they have some level of mastery in these individual skills is good. It's what they should be doing if they really want to get started in the business. But let's say they've learned a little bit. I mean, I would say it's very easy, right? Like depending on what they want to do in digital marketing. If they want to start becoming brand experts, if they want to start becoming web designers, design your own website, right? Knock your socks off. Start create your own website. Start learning how to add different features, use different plugins, update the theme. And then if you want to do branding, start doing some social media, create your own social media profile for your upcoming business. Start developing some hype around your business. Start sharing some free general information that people can benefit. Try to gain a following. So there's a whole bunch you can do before you actually start trying to acquire clients and customers. And in fact, if you start doing some of these things, you'll actually you'll be stepping in the right direction when it comes to getting clients, right? Because potential clients will be looking at these posts. Potential clients can eventually go to your website that you've been building for yourself and see how amazing the design is, how easy the website flows, how great the color schemes are, so on and so forth. So I would approach it that way. But I would definitely say I would echo what you mentioned. There has to be some mastery of these individual skills before they can start soliciting their services. And that's about it.
Exactly. That's beautiful. And like when people used to ask me, like, when did you start? I would say, like, if I go like so technical, this whole thing of marketing actually started back in 2002, right? In a way, in 2006, I kind of took it seriously, right? In 2008, I took it so much seriously, okay? But in 2012, I started to teach. In 2012, I started to go outside and what do you call it? Offer and consult. And why? Because I had to have all this experience, make a lot of mistakes, and make sure everything is working, and have a client base. Then I went out. So it took me a long time actually to get the experience to make sure that I have whatever I'm teaching, I'm doing it and it's working, not just something like how some people do, right? Okay, they just start today. And at the same time, as you mentioned, Imran, at the same time, I'm not trying to discourage. If you have the confidence and you learn and you did a couple of tests and like Imran said, you mastered it, it is okay to ask. It is okay to go. But you need to also humble yourself. What I mean by that, when somebody critique or if you do a mistake, own it, be accountable, admit it, and fix it. Right? Don't try to avoid it or feel bad. If you committed a mistake, take everything as a learning lesson. Make sense? And if you want to improve faster, guess what? That means you have to do more work. You have to do more mistake to move forward faster.
Of course.
So that's a very, very excellent input. And this is very, very important too, because it took me that long to be able to actually, come out and help and teach and coach, because I had to gain all those experience, to do all those mistakes and to make sure that I have enough clients. So when I go out there and explain how things work, I have some sort of, proof in my plate.
Word, brother, word. Yeah, so it makes sense. So let's go to the next question. Do you recommend a website starting out, or should I focus on getting clients first?
This is a very, very excellent question, because the answer might depend.
Yeah.
But when a lot of people with new ideas startup come to me, I do tell them the first question is, do you have a customer? If you don't have it, go get that first. In fact, I actually, believe it or not, I was at this co-working space called Geekdom back in 2012. And sometime in the evening, they bring angel investors and philanthropists and people with money to basically sit down, like, like Shark Tank, or startup companies will share. They basically pitch their ideas about, a software or a business, something like that. And I used to sit there sometime in the back and listen to what they say. And almost all these people with money, when they watch the presentation or when the presentation is finished, they say, "How many customers do you have?"
Yep.
You see, they say they don't care, even if you don't have a site. How many customers do you have? Like, for example, people don't believe me when I tell them, when I started my digital, let's say marketing, when I started to offer the service to local businesses, I did not have a website and a business card for 2 years. But I had clients because I was networking. I was going out. I was asking. I was talking. I was doing the work. Makes sense? So in some cases, I would say, if you are able to get this customer, get them. Right? Why? Because that is in itself a proof in your work, in your idea. If you can offer this particular service and you can get the clients without all those, avenues, that's a first start and a good start to prove that your business idea works. Okay. Once you get like 4 or 5 clients, good. Now go ahead and build a site, build your brand, because people are going to ask for it and you have to share it. But time has changed right now, right? Because 20 years ago, you used to give your business card. Nowadays, you don't have to do that. You just a phone number or app, all the information is there, or your social channels, right? You can even have a basic site made through the app. Make sense? So my recommendation initially is that it depends. And if you're starting something, you want to prove the concept of that idea, try to get the customers, if you're able to, whether through networking, through social and whatnot, okay? To make sure that works. It's more like a beta testing. You're testing the water, right? If it works, then you can have everything ready. In fact, you can also plan to have a site, to have a logo and whatnot. But I wouldn't put too much time. Sometimes I wouldn't put too much effort and time of building the site and the logo and the card and everything. Why? Because if you spend a couple of $1,000 or a couple $100 to make all this thing and you go out and nobody's signing up, you basically lost those money, right? So why not try to get those customers first if you're able to, then build the website. Now, there are some businesses that probably require a website. Depends on the niche that they have to actually see it. Like if you're an interior designer, I mean, they have to see the pictures, right, of the interior design, stuff like that. So there's some niches it requires that you should have a site, and there are some, just get the client first, because that's a proven concept. So it's either or.
I agree. Yeah, I think either or depends on what specifics within digital marketing you're trying to focus on. If you're like a salesy person and you can walk to doors and sell a service without having a website, knock yourself out, right? And you like you said, you can have a business card. You can also have like some type of QR code where people can scan and they get all the pertinent information that they need. I think it's a smart idea to have a website, but I don't think it's necessarily necessary. So
yeah, I mean, you have a good point. I mean, it's amazing how it really, really depends, because in my 20 years of experience, till this day, I know some of my clients, you're not going to believe this. Some of my clients don't even have a basic site, which is crazy. All right. But they have a lot of customers, in a specific niche, right? Of course, finally they have it right now, but they're not getting the value from that. So they're getting the value from somewhere else. So it's not like everything has to be a must. In general, yes, it's good to have all these in general, because that's like, the trust factor and, other ways to increase your bottom line, right? I have some clients in the construction business, don't even have a site, but they're always busy every week. You know what I mean? So this is very important. I mean, of course, we recommend that you should have everything, because, the customer can find you through many avenues, through the social, through the Google, through the web. and whatnot. So this is not a way to discourage, but again, if you have the budget, if you have the money, if you have the proper team to take your ideas or your business to the next level, then yeah, spend on it. Don't be stingy. Because there was a situation where I had a prospect from New York one day was explained to me. He was in the roofing business. So he was telling me that he's been in business for like almost like 30 something years. And this conversation was like, I would say 8 years ago, right? Before all this, 8 years ago. So he was telling me that I was like the number one, the best and everything. And suddenly all these young new companies in roofing are coming in town and they're taking over. So when I looked at when we did the research, we found out these are all young. They're like, I'm looking at like maybe 28 to 35 years old, like kind of guys, in the roofing, which is interesting. But they use a lot of technology. They use a lot of web presence. They use a lot of social and the video stuff like what people do nowadays, right? And the old school guy was never into this sort of thing. So what happened, unfortunately, in a way, kind of, you know, generate more traffic and more customer to the new way of thinking, not the old way. You know what I mean? And this is the problem. So that's what I told this prospect that that's why the reason you're not getting those. You have some few word of mouth left, but the new one you're not ranking locally for those niches, for that industry, because all these new companies, even the companies that are franchised, there's some proven companies that have like a location like a nationwide, they are dominating it because they have the marketing, they have all the money that they can put in to basically take your customer. That's why it's really very important that small businesses, the least thing you can do is to have let's say the Google My Business page and a basic site, at least have it ready. Have it there. Because when the time comes to expand it, you have something to work on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I still when I want to go out and grab something to eat really quickly, like a healthy snack or smoothie, a lot of these places don't have websites, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
But they still have an established brand presence, and they're getting customers. But it makes me think, depending on the demographic that they're trying to target, could they see like an increase in sales if they did have a more effective online presence through a website? Some of them don't have websites or Instagram handles, but what they do is they put their menu on Facebook, which I find very interesting. So, very interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting, because you'd be surprised, and that's why when somebody make that claim that, oh, you must have this,
right?
No, then there's no such thing. You only must have this. There's a general concept, like for example, I tell a lot of businesses and startup that the concept of full ownership, you need to dominate that. So what do I mean by full ownership? So if you have your own domain name for your business, your website self-hosted by you, whether in hosting company and whatnot, but you build it, hosted by you, right? This is called full ownership. Why? Because if you want to move somewhere else, you can move to different hosting. You can move the domain somewhere else, right? But if you have a social channel, like let's say Facebook or Instagram, you don't own those platforms. You don't own YouTube. If YouTube decide to shut down your account, you're gone. Poof, moved away, right? So understand the concept of full ownership first. Then secondly, all these tools on the internet that we have, you can utilize them for your business, right? And sometimes, like you said, some businesses, like, they might have the digital presence, but they're doing very well. Great. Alhamdulillah, we say that, great. But remind them that, things change in life, right? Things can you never know what's going to happen. So the least thing you can do, have these, for example. Make sure you have this present for now. If you don't want to even invest on it, fine. If you're doing so well, you don't want to invest on it, at least just have the site ready. Have the social ready, because you don't want to have the same experience that the prospect from New York was facing due to that, So as a business, sometimes we have to not feel too comfortable, right? Because business, you know how things change in business, right? It always does. That's why you have to be like 10 steps ahead of the game before this situation come along.
Yeah, understood, brother. Understood. So, suck a like a donut. I think for many of you who don't know, and I guess at this exact moment, many of you don't know.
Yeah.
Me and Yusuf are some trolls, so maybe we'll bring the trolling out one day.
Yes, that's what to troll.
We'll do some joint live meditation sessions and
meditation. Oh my God, that'd be hilarious, man.
So sounds good, brother. So I think we went through the questions we had today. We don't have any new questions, so we'll call this an early and early evening. And for all of our cross-dimensional live viewers, for people who are streaming in from another dimension and from the paranormal world, thank you for tuning in. And
The Matrix.
The Matrix. Unplug yourself from the Matrix. Take my course.
So corny. So corny. The Matrix.
No, all good, brother. So thanks for everyone, whoever is here live, and whoever's gonna watch this.
Don't forget to share
in the recordings. Yeah, please share, and we'll see you guys next week.